one of these surprises into the mix is Method, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they certainly will. I mean, last week we finally got to see more of that mid-deep from them, which was great to see, showing that coordination that we've known from them in the past. So definitely some Hail Marys can't come out. I mean, it is ADRD, the mad scientist. He did mention, actually in an interview, that the new timers have actually thrown him off a little bit. His brain still adjusting to what exactly he wants to pull off in drafts, but he's getting there.
I mean, I can absolutely understand that. It's just something where you have to adjust the way that you think about the draft and you think about the bans a little bit more in advance and can't really just go through everything in the moment. But yeah, I have no doubts that he will adjust to that quite easily once that we had a few weeks of play with it.
Certainly. Kane banned out. One of the strongest supports we have in the game right now, taking over Malfurion, who was popular at the beginning of the phase here.
And Team Liquid is 7-3 with Deckard Cain, so that makes a lot of sense to ban him out here. Nurok has also in interviews talked about how he feels the hero has a huge impact and he really enjoys playing Deckard Cain. So Method taking the old man off the board right away.
He loves that hero. Any chance that you get to talk about Deckard Cain with Nurok, please do so, because his passion for that hero will gush out. Pretty exciting to see how pumped he is to play him.
Murden ban.
Yeah.
Interesting choice considering that Bad Benny oftentimes plays the hero for them. Now, it's not the only frontliner that they love to run, but that remains the question, why Murden? Do they want to play again a backliner that is susceptible to dive, where they need to make sure that Murden is not part of the composition to lock him down? Or what's the thought process here?
Maybe they just want to pick up a Phoenix early here. They go straight into Diablo, taking the other tank that we normally see.
Now, Diablo on this map is, of course, extremely powerful, but I'm still wondering now about the backline. If we're going to see the Reyna pack on there, and Phoenix is another one, as you pointed out. If you already plan with your first pick to head into Diablo, and then you're worried about someone engaging into the backline and disrupting it and getting the CC strain started, then Murden would make sense here. So I feel it's really about the backline damage now that they're going to choose.
I mean, the beauty of that option is even if your opponent takes Reyna or Phoenix, you get the other one, right? And both are just great in that backline. Urel and Alex Straza come out for Team Liquid. Alex continues to get more popular in this battleground, but staying away from the damages here, and we get the Urel for the top side.
I mean, Alex Straza has been chosen 10 times in Europe now, and she's sitting at 6 wins and 4 losses. Liquid themselves have only played twice with her. 50% win rate for them.
And you guys at home actually asked for us to bring back Goat Facts, so we did on the bottom side. Every time Urel is picked up, goat milk is actually higher in calcium, vitamin, and niacin than cow milk. So there you go.
Also, a little bit of a bonus fact here. Khazra camps on the map are actually goats.
Wow. Just goats everywhere.
Yeah.
Heroes of the goats.
Especially whoever designed Diablo 3 and Diablo in general had some affinity with goats. There's a lot of goats in Diablo.
I mean, not to dive too deep into it, but aren't like sacrifices a thing when it comes to goats and some like poor magic? I'm trying to figure out how to get into this black magic.
Believe me, there's a lot of goats.
Yeah, I don't want to like go too far and like down this dark path, but that might be why, you know?
Yeah.
Might be a thing. It's supposed to be dark, a little gothic. All right, Blaze banned out. So, Sergeant Hammer, what do you think about the Reyna and Genji getting picked up? A lot of damage from the back line, but Genji to chase down targets and destroy them afterwards?
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really shock me too much. We already talked about what the Murden ban indicates when we saw it, and now with Reyna being picked up, it makes perfect sense. Every team that went up against Reyna was trying to dive him and take him out early. So now that Murden's banned out, they also take some of that threat away. Genji for ADRD makes also a lot of sense here. But I love that Team Liquid is actually responding with an Abathur composition here. Especially with the symbiote on Urel and Garrosh, it's going to be extremely annoying. Yeah. And also with the double Urel, for example, or even double Garrosh, you have so much space control on the Shrine. It's definitely going to make up for a very interesting game here between the two.
I mean, how do you kill them? I mean, we're looking for damage later on here for Team Liquid, but right now they have a very sturdy composition. Control those shrine phases. Rhaegar and Leoric will come out to help out with maybe controlling that front line a little bit. Leo also can match Urel when it comes to wave clear.
What's the damage going to be like for them?
I was thinking Cassia for a second here, but I'm worried against Genji.
Yeah, I mean, you have Abathur still that can help you out, so...
Tychus?
The Abathur factor changes a lot in the setup. If you want to go through Diablo, though, you need something. They go for Cassia. So we're going to see that poke build.
No, with hats.
For a second, I was even considering Greymane. I mean, he has fallen off severely. But with Abathur in the composition, you could have made an argument for him here. Try to get the double Greymane, jump onto the front. I quite enjoy what Method has, though.
Yeah. The Rhaegar and Leor coming in there to really bring it all together. Raynor should be able to dish out the damage. It's just more of can they win the Shrine phase. If they can find a kill, yeah, they will. What a draft to start our day on for both teams.
That front line of Liquid is absolutely terrifying with Abathur in the mix. That makes it really tricky. You can also try and flip Diablo, of course. You're going to have to try and move out here. But Reyna is more or less... I mean, you have Urel to engage into the backline. And
you have Valkyrie, too.
Valkyrie is a good point. I just remember the last game where we saw Valkyrie against Reyna, and it was really well played on the Reyna part where you can just sidestep it if you really pay attention to it. There's definitely tools that Liquid has. It comes down to personal play. How good is your execution there? But if they can keep Reyna safe and shield him, then he should be able to strike that front line easily.
That he should be able to. Let's go ahead and go into game number 1. Infernal Shrines will be the battleground. Team Liquid taking on Method.
And we have them starting to the left side with Nurok on Alexstrasza for Team Liquid. Arcana currently on Cassia. Eternal on the other hand with Urel Sportbilio, of course, on Garrosh. And Hazops on Abathur.
On the right side, in the red, Bad Benny on Diablo, Nick to play Raynor, ADRD on Genji, Ethereal on Leoric, and Curson will be your Rhaegar player for this morning.
And of course with Cassia we're going straight into the Lightning Fury build, so already Arcana will attempt from the get-go to work on his stacks. Talons on level 1 don't come really as too much of a surprise here. The Carapace build for Hazops, so it's more or less a pseudo-support that they have with him now on top of Alexstrasza, being played by Nurok here. But yeah, game number 1, we've been waiting for this series for quite some time, and now we are finally going to find out who's going to take that number 2 spot in Europe before we're heading towards the Western Clash.
I'm kind of interested to see how exactly Method intends to put the pressure on the early game against an Abathur competition. Normally you want to try and find some kills or be able to break down some infrastructure a little bit. So we'll see to be able to pull that off. For now, Team Liquid begins to group up, and it's mostly Sportbilly if they want to really set up any type of kills if they do come in for Team Liquid.
And in the past, Sportbilly has always been a topic when he was on Garrosh. He's one of those players that really loves to play the hero, and he has a huge impact with him too. So the question still remains, how is Method going to deal with that? If he gets close enough to Reyna or even Diablo, then he can put the two of them in a lot of trouble. So let's see how Method is going to deal with that in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, definitely in the early game, Diablo will be staying wary of any turrets that are nearby, making sure not to get tossed in. It's one of the ways that Team Liquid can get net an early kill against him. But around the Shrine phase, Diablo should take over a little bit, especially as he gets those souls stacked up. Sportbilly coming in for a bit of an aggressive play, but doesn't get anything. Tosses an opponent and gets a nice little stack on his level 1.
I mean, the ace in the hole on Reyna, played by Nick here, is also going to come online once that Leoric is going to join the fights and starts just swinging and slowing everyone down. And that's another tool where Rhaegar comes into play, of course, too. On level 1, we already have him with a Colossal Totem, and that alone just helps you to get that extra damage with Reyna out.
Curson in particular always enjoys at level 1. He seems to pick it up more so than other Rhaegars. Enjoys it slow for his team. Allows for them to find those kills. Now, a bit of a fight here on the Merc camps to the bottom. As Team Liquid is already nice and set up. Shouldn't be a spot that Method actually moves in for an engage with an Abathur hat setting up, and Garrosh as well to control the space. Yeah,
both of the teams in the early game here are more so interested in the macro aspect of the game instead of going straight into brawls. That's going to change once that we have the first Shrine set up here. Little 4 talents for both, with the Fight or Flight again taken for Jimmy. Neil Peasants, of course, for Leoric. And that's really where the wave play kicks in. This is really the moment when you can push these lanes out so much faster.
The more I look at this, the more I just really feel like Team Liquid's going to be able to win that first Shrine. As long as they're there right away, Urel just forever buying time. With Abathur has constantly being worked in, they can kite backwards. And then the moment they have to make a power play, Dragon Queen comes out.
I mean, one of the reasons why we don't see too many brawls in the early game here initiated by Method is also they do not want to give Cassia the early on stacks before the Shrine even spawns.
True.
Currently Arcana is sitting on 6, and he will, of course, with the Shrine fights, complete that pretty quickly, or at least he should be able to do that. But right now there's no real reason for Method to heavily engage into a brawly setup just to give him those stacks early on and help him to a very early power spike.
Option for Method here is just to push out of the lanes, and that seems to be the one they're going for, as they have Leoric clearing that top lane with that Neil Peasants. He should be able to deal with that camp quickly. The rest of Method put some damage on the turrets here in the middle, with Sportbilly actually coming around for a bit of a flank, though. Got to be careful, as there's a bit of a combo coming out into a Groundbreaker.
Method just lets it go. They're not even going for the Shrine. They're just absolutely happy to give it up. with Garrosh, Urel, and also, of course, the Dragon Queen available through Alex Strahler, so they're just saying, guys, why would we fight this? And for Arcana, that's actually annoying, because he finally gets another Lightning Fury in, but he's only sitting at 7 stacks. So Method is playing around their opponent, simply acknowledging that the early Shrine phase is going to be a bit tough for them to win, and make it difficult for Liquid to stack the damage on Cassia.
The thing about this, though, is that if you don't get that Dragon Queen popped up, Team Liquid has the ability to elect to go into a team fight and Dragon Queen on the push with the Punisher. So typically you want to try and at least force that fight a little bit just to make sure that cooldown is used.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point, because we've seen that in the past as well. It's definitely one of the things that you might have a bit of a problem with. Nurok still has the Dragon Queen ready, and that can help you to get more damage out of the Punisher than you should. The saving grace is it's a frozen Punisher, so I think that helps a lot. If that was an arcane Punisher, we were talking a very different game.
Oh, but the ice actually comes in here and is able to freeze Bad Benny for a second as Eternal slows him down just enough to get locked down. But Eternal taking damage on that front line, gets slammed into a wall. Some heals come out just in time, especially with the help of Abathur as they turn around and focus down Curson.
Yeah, Curson falls to Abathur. Close call, but it works out, and here comes the Punisher, jumps in again. Arcana immediately attempting to follow up with additional damage, but now sitting at 14 stacks, so really using that little skirmish down here to get quite a lot of value. Now Leoric was missing the entire time, but here comes another tosser as Bad Benny is put in a bit of an awkward spot here, and Benny is about to fall. Double kill for Liquid as they take nearly an entire level lead thanks to the structures that they just destroyed.
Team Liquid made a statement with that push, taking down the fort, opening the map, grabbing an experience lead as well. They are here to fight against Method, as they are already setting up for another night camp, and they're moving towards that 10, which is where they become incredibly strong as well. You get that level 10 coming in, suddenly you have maybe a double Garrosh, double Urel available.
That was really a super important move for them. And now they're even providing the vision on the other side of that bit of debris so that the Khazra camp can attack the fountain directly. And that takes another big option away from their opponent. And the next shrine is actually spawning in the mid lane. So for Method, this is definitely a tough start into game number 1. Liquid opening things up with a bang.
Turret about to go down here. Keeps getting sieged on up. Method, on the other hand, are working for their level 10. As that full level lead about to hit for Team Liquid will give them those heroic abilities. York actually thinking about maybe coming here on the side, but nothing really opens up as an opportunity. Raynor and Rhaegar did clear out that bottom lane, so they are getting the experience themselves. So Method should just relax here. May lose another turret, but should be able to hold their fort.
But Abathur is already being a pain here. He pushed out the bot lane quite easily. And now with a 10, they're moving into the middle and take down the 4-2. We don't even see, by the way, Valkyrie. Instead, we see the ball of lightning. Eternal in trouble. Abathur should be there soon. Athero missing the drain Hopi on him. And they can focus their attention now back into the mid lane. Have to be careful, though, because Method is closing in on their own heroic abilities.
Yes, they have about a quarter left of experience until they hit that 10. Should be able to get in the bottom lane. Genji's already on top of that. And Method will hold their fort. It did take a lot of damage, though. With that middle shrine spawning there with the Punisher coming in, Team Liquid should make easy work of that if they're able to win it. So now suddenly Method's in a spot where they have to decide if they want to make that play.
So this is really time to shine now. We have Leoric with the Entomb, Hyperion, and Apocalypse. So they're going to try and lock someone down with the Entomb, following it up with the Apocalypse, and then just Hyperion damage all day, every day. Now the one thing that we've seen now a few times is Bloodlust. Comes in occasionally, and Rhaegar is holding his level 10, so there's still an option that with Raynor they're going to try and get that auto attack damage out.
Level 10 instead of Valkyrie. We're getting Ball Lightning coming out instead.
You never listen to me.
I never do listen to you.
It makes me so sad.
You mentioned it,
We really
and I
need to work on
about
our communication. Maybe we have to get therapy.
Don't even. Don't. Sorry, anywho.
I feel you need to appreciate me a little bit more. I want couples.
That's fair. All right, well, you pay for it. Deal.
All right, let's forget about that idea.
Yeah, it's a horrible idea.
Or Blizzard, please.
Shrine spawns now in the middle here, as we'll have Method step up. So they are looking to contest here. Now with Diablo having some souls available, he's actually 4 away from having the full 100. He is quite tanky.
Yeah, he has the Dragon Queen. Bloodlust is also in play. And again, the move as Hazops goes in. The double Cassia with a damage output here, trying to open up these opportunities. And Hazops is zoning them completely. Great play with the copy here. Finally goes down, and this is the time when Method says, okay, boys, let's go.
They step up. Clone destroy. Method goes in. There goes the Apox. Try to lock down Sport Billy. Sport Billy with the life drain is not going to be able to fall there, as we also have the life bender coming out. He is able to live just fine as Team Liquid keeps him nice and healthy. 34 to 17 in terms of minions, and Team Liquid easily takes the shrine.
Yeah, really well done by them. And also, Thero not able to lock someone down with the Entomb. Now he zoned them out to an extent where there was just no chance for them to get a kill. And that's really what you want to do when you spec into a Bloodlust comp. You want to get that kill that Method just couldn't find in this setup. And now they're in trouble again, because the second fort falls, and that push could easily end with the keep even being taken down, depending on how much they can now get with the second Punisher. They don't have a lot of cooldowns on heroics, and it should be bursted down quickly enough, but opening up the wall alone is already a good step into the right direction.
Throw us up to buy a little bit of time here. Making sure nobody comes in for the follow-up, and that will be a defense there for Method, but with the wall being opened up, definitely a keep it being grabbed later on. 13-12, Team Liquid in a commanding lead right now, and even setting up a gank here on Leoric. Thero will be able to rotate on up, but Team Liquid, they're not stopping the pressure.
Now, Arcana is sitting at 21 stacks, so he's really having a tough time completing that process, but it's of course absolutely understandable considering how Method is trying to avoid useless fights, just simply because they acknowledge that fact. An attempt at the top to maybe lock someone down long enough so that they can get value out of a rotation, but that's not quite happening. Liquid is still ahead, and they have 13, but Method can still turn that around. They have been falling behind throughout the entire game, but let's not kid ourselves. If they get one good Bloodlust engage,
yeah,
that can flip.
If Garrosh is to overstep, doesn't get the flip, speaking of flips, and Raynor is able to punish him with that Bloodlust and knocking down that damage, bringing the penetrating round in for a kill, Team Liquid could crumble quickly. Method, working on the 13 for now. Genji continuing to build in the talents here. I want to see what we're going to get for level 13 for him. Same time, one of your favorites for Leoric, already online as well.
Yeah, so we get again Ominous Ray standard here. Thunder God's Vigor, of course, for Arcana, also super important. The cooldown reduction just really helps you to dish out the damage and even stack since he hasn't completed it yet. So that's another one that's going to be incredibly important for them. Giddy Up, on the other hand, for Reyna. So it's going to be easier for Reyna to really get those auto attack in and also escape from these situations. With Bloodlust together, he should really be able to chunk down targets. And I mean, if you look at the damage output, Reyna right now isn't doing too bad. He's doing 40,000 damage so far, which is the top damage for his team. But we have Hazorps with Abathur already sitting at 20k.
Hang on, that's 14k, not 40,000.
Did I say 40?
You said 40,000. I'm like, oh my god, he's destroying.
I meant 14.
14k.
My bad.
Oh, but yes, Giddy Up will make it easier for him to force those fights.
Yeah, but Abathur again, just like destroying. That spike burst is just so good. And Hazo did a fantastic job with the Cassia copy to get damage in and zone everyone out. That choke point really worked well for them. It was actually one of the main things why they were able to win the second Punisher, because Hazorps with that AoE damage through Cassia could control the choke point so easily.
And don't forget, when 16 hits too, Abathur with Garrosh, that speed boost coming in from the Carapace.
Yeah.
That will allow him to force fights how he wants to, but also disengages as well. So Team Liquid, they're scaling. That's for sure as we head to 16. In fact, Cassia, back in the day when she started this build, typically around 13 and 16 when you got that Pierce available and that cooldown reduction, that's when you would see that quest get finished quickly. So Arcader, although he hasn't finished the quest, will have options to finish that later.
Method is hating Abathur right now, I can tell you that much. We have Hazorps just pushing out the bot lane the entire time, keeping Leoric there for such a long period of time. And that experience that Liquid already has is just getting bigger. The Symbiote is again active at the bot lane, and that allows Liquid to push this out even faster. There's the 16 now for them. And that's Method in an awkward spot. You engage into the talent advantage. Do you just sit there and take it that you're going to lose another Punisher? Especially considering that's an Arcane Punisher this time.
And you also have a Dragon on the opposing team, so the more of a lead they get, the better position they are. They're going to fight 15 to 16. And Tim comes out, locked down on Sport Billy. Immediately pops the Indomitable, make sure he doesn't get blown up, and also can make sure not to get locked down. Able to get out his own heal and also do his own knock-up. And Team Liquid stops the attempt from Method.
And who do you kill there? Do you actually go for Billy and try to take down Garrosh with the Dragon Queen there to create space and also Urel? Unlikely. So now Method is again in a spot where they're just backing off. They're just realizing, boys, it ain't happening. Let's move into the middle, get some pressure going, and make sure that we get the 16 for the defense and play around that.
That is the most important part, hitting level 16 here. So they'll be able to get 16. They even put a little bit of damage on that fort. Abathur will be able to slow that down, but that fort in the top right is already cleaned up. But they got to back up soon. If not, this Punisher is already on its way to keep it if they don't bait it to the middle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be deadly.
That was definitely a good choice also by Liquid. Not trying to react and defend the mid lane, but instead just simply trade up at the top. Makes it easier for their Punisher to approach the keep now too. And things are definitely starting to become a bit dicey for Method. Already they're baiting it over and trying to see if they can burn it down. At least to 50% out, but here comes Hazorps with a copy again. The double Cassia, Hyperion immediately together with Bloodlust to zone them out, burn down the Punisher and defend the keep.
I mean, the good news about that Bloodlust is they shred that Immortal quickly. Got through the wall, Keep took a little bit of damage. Aethero chasing and slowing down the clone, but again, that's a clone. Hazorps is content with losing that there. Aethero trying to chase with the Wraith Walk, but no opportunity presents itself.
It was a great defense. They didn't use the Entomb because they just could not lock anyone down, and of course you don't want to use it for the Abathur clone here. But committing to Hyperion and Bloodlust helped them to burst down the Punisher very quickly and then push Liquid back. That's the problem that you have with Liquid right now. I mean, there's like two sides to it. You can easily disengage from a Hyperion and Bloodlust, and if you manage to do that, then it's two cooldowns that get burned and that don't give you a lot of value. If you can force an opponent to fight in that, on the other hand, then you can really get a lot of damage in. Or you can defend by making sure that you zone them out. So from Method's perspective, they could be in a worse spot, but that level disadvantage is still a problem.
And it is. Team Liquid will keep playing throughout this match, focusing on Punishers. Not wanting to take a team fight unless they're around those shrines. They want to make sure they can force Method into a weird situation. Method continues to hold on. The question is, how long can they hold on? Can they really deal with the onslaught of one more Punisher, two more Punishers, right?
So the problem is that Arcana is about to finish his quest.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just really powerful when you complete it with Cassia. The poke damage is already super annoying, but getting that second charge in is just absolutely powerful for the Lightning Fury. You already have the damage increase after your 20 stacks. And now that we're heading into 40, he can just poke in the entire time. Also, especially since he has the cooldown reduction and the Pierce now on 13-16. So he's just going to poke away 6 days to Sunday. It's going to be fantastic for Liquid as long as they keep him safe.
The good news, Earthgrass Totem coming online for Rhaegar should give them the ability to force the fights if they want to and proc that level 1 that you were talking about earlier from Raynor. So they can really destroy a target if they were to overstep. Watching out for that, we'll see if Method is able to pull that off. For now, Team Liquid is working towards level 20. That full level lead really paying off for them now.
They're going to try and get at least a keep once they have 20. So it's all... Their attempt is to center it around the next shrine, which is something is really realistic for them, and then try to use that Punisher to push the keep and ideally even go core if they can get a kill or two. And for Method, this is really going to be one of those moments that's going to like, okay, how is this going to run? Because if they actually defend, then they would be on 20 versus 20. So that would be eye-level fights at least. But right now, Liquid is definitely running the show here. But Method is doing their best to close the experience gap. And with them taking down a few structures, at least here in the middle, this is starting to happen.
Someone's kind of hurting right now. Devastating Charge getting picked up level 13. Bad Bunny yet to get a single stack on that Talon. Wanting to increase the damage on targets that gets into a wall. So part of this not fighting for Method also hurting a little bit for Team Liquid. As Method is unable to get their own stacks at the same time. And that level 1 quest did finish up for Cassia, as you were talking about earlier. But Team Liquid about to hit level 20 right when a shrine activates, and they are so happy about that.
Yeah, Abathur is just going to take the experience at the top lane super easily, and now they're starting to push in here already, claiming a few of their stacks, attempting to get them. Here's the 20 as they're trying to go in here. Eternal misses the heal from Alexstrasza, but they're absolutely dominating the space here right now. Aethero looking for an opportunity here, but they just don't find it, and I'm not quite sure if Method even engages into it. There's the Entomb though, Apocalypse Hyperion, they're trying to go for the kills. Can they get it? Nuruk is low, but keeps himself alive just barely. Billy also losing HP. Not the same is true for Leoric as he tries to go in to reduce the damage.
Didn't pay off, but an incredible flank there from Bad Benny to get on top of Nurok. Nurok able to survive thanks to that Lifebender being available. Hasuav's the clone is about to fall as well, with the double Cassia still being annoying. 23-19 for Team Liquid in terms of control for the shrine, so they are ahead here. Method is starting to kite backwards already, while Aethero is dealing with Arcaner, but Team Liquid has survived the onslaught that came from Method, and they turn around and grab the shrine.
And Hazorps did some insane damage again with the Cassia clone, really controlling these choke points. And we're coming back to the same problem. How does Method get kills? It's so tricky for them here. And they burned all the cooldowns. That means that this push is going to be super strong. There is no Hyperion. There is no Bloodlust. So this time you can't use the tools to make sure that the Punisher push is not going to be successful. Liquid is going to go in with those Storm Talents. And I mean, they want the keep now. And they want the core. If they can get a kill, that would be all they need to end this first game.
It's Poor Billy steps forward. Tomb comes out. Leoric will get focused down after a taunt and get completely destroyed there. Team Liquid continues to chase forward. The ball lightning comes out too, puts damage on top of Nick and Bad Benny. This keep is done, and this Punisher, it's healthy.
Yeah, easy keep for them, and now of course they want to go for the core. Leoric is down for another 40 seconds. This is the moment when you can already take the lead in the series, and Liquid is determined to do exactly that. Nick is low, and he goes down too. Another hero death. The Apocalypse attempt to turn it around, but Benny is dropping in HP, and so is Kirsten. Team Liquid on their way to victory.
Poor Billy keeping up with the throws here, tossing people left and right. 3 down from Method. One's about to spawn with the core. It's down to 20%. It's down to 10. Team Liquid comes out in game number 1, firing as they get their first win here in this best-of-5 series.